Beam's the hardest for me because it's just so skinny. I get up there and go, oh no, what am I going to do?
Yeah, there's a different feeling when you've stuck that dismount, you know. I guess it's like the icing on the cake. It just really finishes it off and just goes, hey, here I am, you know.
When you're competing, your adrenaline just pumps you up, and so you just fly down. Like it's really quite easy. You just got to stick it.
And on balance beam, the leading lady in gymnastics in Australia, Monique Allen from New South Wales.
The beam is the most difficult of the 4 women's Olympic events, and it consists of acrobatic elements that are linked in a harmonious fashion with dance and gymnastic elements, much like floor exercise, but in fact done on a 5-metre beam only 10 centimetres wide.
Monique Allen, very experienced competitor, handling that 10 centimetres wide very well.
First tumbling pass, flick-flack, lay-out, step-out, very steady.
And it's very pleasing to watch Monique's line on beam. Her lovely long legs, which she extends to the full, and her presentation, just ideal.
Yes, Peggy, she's a very experienced performer, and any small error demonstrated here is magnified on this apparatus, with the judges able to deduct from 0.05 of a point up to half a point for major deductions. The girls are looking to be extremely steady on this most difficult of gymnastic events.
What a fantastic leap she just did.
Another difficult leap. In fact, the girls must demonstrate some mandatory elements, and one of those must be a large leap. Monique preparing now for dismount. Round off, layout somersault. We must remember Monique has had a recent injury, Peggy.
I would think that definitely tells us she's had a recent injury. Not a difficult movement on dismount will obviously affect her mark, but her sights set on the Olympic Games, we understand why.
In replay, we can see the back handspring, layout, step out. Difficult enough on the floor, but extremely difficult on the balance beam.
And this is one of the most difficult movements, the full pivot. Very difficult to stay on line and stay on that balance beam.
9.55 for Allen's last performance in a shortened program.
Brooke Geison from Western Australia preparing for her vault.
Here's the approach. Handspring, 1.5. Oh, beautifully landed. Handspring, 1.5 front somersault. That vault is in one of the more difficult categories of vaults, and in fact is valued out of 9.9 points out of a possible 10. That was an excellent vault.
And it looks so easy.
And that's how it should look, Peggy. In replay now, we can see the very powerful approach, a 20-metre approach. Handspring, and there's the 1.5 somersault. Legs are a little straddled there. That should receive a deduction, but still a very good performance.
And as you know, the girls are allowed to do 2 vaults in this round, and Brooke waiting for the mark for the first vault. Deep breath before she does her second vault. Presenting to the judges, finding the exact mark from where she must run.
Very determined approach. Again, a handspring entry, same vault. Performed equally as well, except the landing wasn't quite as sure. It was a handspring 1.5 front somersault.
But as in this case, the judges take the best mark, so the 2 chances is the only time the gymnasts have 2 chances at anything.
That's true, Peggy, and it's quite an unusual circumstance. As in men's gymnastics, there's only the 1 vault given. Here in replay, hands on the horse, 1.5 front somersault, again those straddle legs, but again a very sure performance from Brooke Geison.
9.475 for Geison on her favourite apparatus.
Jane Warrilow from Western Australia, preparing for her first of 2 optional vaults here tonight. Now, Jane has chosen a vault from the Roundorf group, named after the famous Soviet world champion Yushchenko. Jane is possibly one of the most powerful vaulters in this country, and we should look for something special here tonight. Round off approach. Full twisting. Oh, she's landed short. That's a major deduction on that full twisting Yushchenko vault.
And her coach, Andrei Rodionenko, obviously giving her advice because, we say, she'll have a second chance to perform this vault.
But that vault has a maximum value of 10 points. And unlike the other 3 gymnastic events, where the girls can only get a maximum 10 by earning bonus points, here on vault they may actually demonstrate a vault of maximum difficulty. And here in replay, round off onto the board, back handspring, but she's just a little low there in the somersault and lands short to fall to her hands.
And Jane preparing for her second vault, again looking for the exact mark from where they wish to run to the vault.
Jane will be paying full attention as she needs to land this vault well.
Concentrating very hard. She is not going to make that mistake again.
Possibly a stronger approach this time. Round off again. Oh, much better vault. And at least there wasn't a fall, a large step on landing, but there was a greater speed in her approach to the board and consequently a higher somersault. Here in replay, we'll see the faster approach. Round off was stronger, somersault higher. She still lands short, but only takes that one large step, a lesser deduction than her first vault.
Warrilow scoring 9.375 for a very difficult vault.
Lisa Reid from New South Wales presenting herself to the judges, ready to begin her balance beam routine. Again, another gymnast who has a superb body line on the beam, lovely long legs and excellent presentation.
And one of our leading ladies in Australian gymnastics, a very consistent performer. We should see her demonstrate that quality here tonight as she led after last night's compulsories, demonstrating her gymnastic elements and series. The balance beam requires that the girls stay on the apparatus for between 1 minute 10 to 1 minute 30 seconds. Oh, a fall on her first tumbling pass. That will incur the major deduction, half a point.
And Peter, all the gymnasts having, I think, a little bit of the nerves due to the importance of this competition.
Yes, Peggy, their work is a little stilted tonight. And however, we have to wish them the best, and we trust Lisa will be able to finish this performance. She's picked up well.
With her experience, there's no doubt in my mind the gymnasts will finish well. They're practiced and they're polished.
Focused on the dismount now. That was in fact a second acrobatic pass, and she landed that much better than a first. Confidence is restored, and here we're seeing variations in rhythm and level. That's important on balance beam. Now focused on the dismount. Round off, double somersault, and another fall. How unfortunate for Lisa, just a little short on that landing.
And Lisa's going to be disappointed with that exercise. She certainly can do better than that.
Here we see that tumbling series that brought Lisa unstuck. Back handspring, layout, step out. Yeah, she's just a little offline there, Peggy.
And when you're a little offline on balance beam, there's nowhere to go.
2 falls meant a full point deduction, and the leader has opened the door.
Kylie Shadbolt of Queensland. Concentration, ready for her balance beam routine.
Kylie choosing a backward mount onto the beam, round off flick-flack, looking very composed.
What I like about Kylie's balance beam work is the way she attacks the apparatus. Very determined, very confident.
That's true, Peggy, and we should see that demonstrated here in her acrobatic series. The girls must demonstrate 1 acrobatic series. Flick-flack, layout, step out. That's solid. Just the smallest wobble there.
And here we come to that difficult pivot. Well controlled, totally controlled.
Even though these routines are optional of the girls' own making, they are allowed to, or they are required to demonstrate compulsory elements, as we saw on the full turn. But Kylie's just finished a beautiful needle scale.
And preparing her concentration again for another tumbling pass to a split leap, slight overbalance.
Those elements are required to be linked as a series, so if the girls show any break in rhythm, then the value of the series will be lost, and in fact they will incur a deduction from the judge. Just the dismount to come. She's looking for a stable landing. Round off. Double somersault. Oh my goodness, a little short as well. Girls are having problem landing these dismounts tonight. We must remember they're very difficult elements. Yes, and the balance beam being the most difficult apparatus really, really tests the gymnast, and it's doing it this evening. In replay now. Round off. Look for the two somersaults. Legs are a little bit cowboyed there, and there's that short landing. That'll incur about a 0.3 of a point deduction for her landing.
On a night where the beam is proving difficult, 9.5 is not bad scoring from Kylie Shadbolt.
And now to balance beam, Julian Monaco of the ACT. Julian became the first Australian gymnast ever to reach finals at a World Championship on the uneven bars. But here on the balance beam, performed a very unusual mount, starting on her shoulders, straight into a layout step-out somersault. The girls required to show both acrobatic, gymnastic and dance movements on the beam.
And Julianne preparing for her acrobatic movements. 2 backflips. I'm interested that there was no layout on the end of that one.
Is playing a little bit safe here tonight, but at this level of competition, a fall is totally unwarranted. The mandatory full turn. Julianne has been fortunate to see her teammates go before her, and some of them had errors, both from falls and landing dismount. She's obviously determined to stick every acrobatic part tonight. Her next acrobatic series, flick-flack. Oh, Corbett salto, well landed.
As with her bars, the composition and work of her balance beam routine is different from most gymnasts and most interesting to watch.
Just dismount now. Double twist. Again, a fairly simple dismount, but she's completed this routine, one of the few to do here tonight. She'll be pleased with that performance.
And I would think a big weight off your shoulders when balance beam is finished.
I would think so, Peggy, and she'll be a relieved young lady. Many of the girls choosing to do a round off, which puts them in a backward position for a somersault, double twisting back somersault, and a most adequate landing for Julian Monaco.
9.6, the best score so far on the beam, and Julian Monaco continues her run at the leaders.
Ruth Money is from New South Wales, starting her beam routine from the side, pushing straight up into a handstand. And again, we must remark on that beautiful leg line.
This is one of Ruth's better events, and we can look for some original elements demonstrated here tonight. There's the mandatory leap series. She'll prepare now for her acrobatic series. The girls required to demonstrate at least one series of tumbling movements. Flick-flack, layout, step out. Oh, just slightly under-rotated, but she's recovered well. And another flick-flack. A great deal of pressure on these young ladies here tonight. Full turn, another mandatory requirement on balance beam. The girls are required to use the entire length of the beam and demonstrate movements at a high level, as she's doing now, and also closer to the beam. But watch this element. Full twisting Corbett salto. Oh, a little heavy on landing, but she's recovered. She is the only girl in Australia to demonstrate this skill. Very unique. Dismount to come. Round off. Double twist. Well finished for the young Ruth Money of New South Wales.
And I'm delighted for Ruth. Here comes Ju Ping. She's going to give her words of encouragement. Ruth should be very pleased with the way she's starting this competition. She's really prepared and really concentrating.
In replay, we'll see her prepare for this very difficult element.
An element which gives all the crowd an opportunity to gasp audibly.
Watch it. Here's the full twist with a somersault. Extremely difficult. A little low on landing there, but again, she's recovered well to finish her routine.
Ruth Money is standing up well to the pressure of top competition. So at the halfway mark of the optionals, Jane Warrilow is the new leader from Kylie Shadbolt, with Lisa Reid now equal third with Julian Monaco.